Hi guys, it's Tuesday, April 9th, which means it's time to VEDA Vlog Every Day April. Uh, and if you didn't catch my previous VEDA number 8, I'm kind of late posting it because I was at the Debs Narrow concert yesterday, and unfortunately I didn't get a chance to post a VEDA yesterday. I did record one, but it was long and I wanted to try and edit it today, and had all kinds of headaches with media and avid not reading things properly, so I didn't get to finish that, and I just kind of abandoned it, which is a shame because I talk a lot about the Debs Narrow concert and some other things that I found. So I re-recorded that, and it's going up today. Unfortunately, won't have any footage from the Debs Narrow concert like I was hoping, but that'll be up today. So if you missed 8, go check that out now. This is supposed to be VEDA number 9. But I wanted to talk to you guys about something else today. As you know, last week I was talking. I've been reviewing comics all of April, with the few exceptions when I talk about some of the things that come along. And the series that I've been primarily focused on has been Ultimate Spider-Man, which is one of my all-time favorite series. I want to talk about a different series that I'm very obsessed with. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And when I was a kid, I wasn't just obsessed with the TV series, I was a huge fan of the books too, the comic books. In fact, I had the first couple of volumes of the first trade paperback series. Publishers called First. And they were like 3-issue books that told the story of like the first. I think they were 3-issue arcs. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I looked at them. I used to really love those. Unfortunately, I lent them to a friend, and they never gave them back. I also never got anything past those first few issues. So I got the origin story, and I knew a few other little tidbits here and there, like stuff about the Utrom. But unfortunately, one of the issues, the last issue in the series that I had, was a cliffhanger. And it was one where they break into TCRI and discover the Utrom, who are responsible for the mutation of the turtles, which is another rant for another day. And they're teleported to a different world, the Triceraton homeworld, and that starts a whole other storyline. And it always kind of bugged me that I never got to finish or continue reading that series. I've still actually never finished it because there's a lot of issues I don't have to this day. So, and yeah, I mean, there's only a limited amount of exposure I have to a lot of turtle stuff, unfortunately, because a lot of stuff is really hard to find because it's so rare, because a lot of it wasn't printed in high numbers, or it's really expensive to find. And it bugged me for a long time that I could never finish reading the series. Then about 2009, IDW, Nickelodeon bought the rights to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the original creator, Peter Laird. Kevin Eastman had sold the rights years ago to Peter, and Peter sold the remaining rights, all of it, to Nickelodeon, who wanted to develop it in different ways, namely a TV series and a forthcoming movie, which I won't even go into. But they also wanted to do comic books, because that's the origin of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It started as a comic book. It started as a parody and tribute to comic books. And as part of that deal, they wanted to reprint old issues. And boy, am I glad they did, because they started immediately with this series. They call it the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate Collection. This is Volume 1. Pull it back for you guys to get a slightly better look. These are huge books. This has 8 issues in it, the first 7 issues, and the first of the micro series one-shots. This one specifically, the Raphael series, where he comes across Casey Jones for the first time, and they introduce that character. There's presently out 3 series with 3 volumes so far, with the 4th one coming, I think, this week. I have to confirm that. I've heard different things. Different places say April 23rd. Some say April 10th. So either way, it's coming out soon. Hope to pick that up. But what I really love about this series is that it allows me to catch up on issues that I never had, or I've only sort of been able to reference via either experiencing the remake, the retelling of the stories in the 2003 series, or the odd scan of the comic I can find, or reading up on Wikipedia. And I'm really excited because this will allow me to be able to read more. Unfortunately, the first 3 volumes only go up to about issue 20, and there's a few that they skip along the way there. And then the 4th volume is starting City at War, the storyline that finished the first volume of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I think is issue 50 through 63. I could be wrong about that. So there's like a 30 or 40 issue gap there, 30 issues, that they aren't putting out in this series, with a few that are kind of missing here and there. Volume 2 has the remaining of the micro-series, but they left it the Fugitoid one-shot, and I think issues like 16 and 18 and 13, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head. And it's kind of disappointing in that way that those issues are missing, but what you have to understand about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic series was that even though there was an ongoing plot to many of the tales, once in a while they'd break for a one-shot that was just sort of nonsensical. They'd have a guest artist come in, and a lot of those storylines don't have any actual impact on the story. They're just sort of one-offs that are never sort of brought up again, or if they are brought up again, they're again self-contained. So they don't come out in these series. There is another series that they have. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Classics. There's 4 volumes of it out right now. I have all 4 of them. The 5th one is coming soon. And they cover some of the ones that are missing here, but there's still some that aren't published yet. They've announced 5 and 6, and I believe that covers a majority of the missing issues, but there's still a huge chunk of like 10 or 12 of them that they haven't released, and I'm kind of disappointed that way. However, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth because these are fantastic books. They're a nice, thick, heavy hardcover with great art inside. I don't know if you guys can see some of that. They've got fantastic retellings by Kevin and Peter. They've written up great little spiels about each issue and what they kind of came across while they were, what they learned doing that issue, and some of the problems they came across, or some of the issues they dealt with trying to deal with each other, because they didn't necessarily always get along or didn't necessarily always agree on things. But there's a lot of great stories and a lot of great insight into the creation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or stories not told that they wanted to kind of address, things they wanted to do in the comic that they never got to, or stories that were supposed to be different but ended up the way they are. And as you can see, it's the full original black and white pages, beautifully scanned. These are absolutely gorgeous, pristine books. I'm really happy with the quality of them, and I look forward to volumes 4 and 5 because I've never actually got to read City at War, and I'm looking forward to that. And I mean, these are the classic stories. The first 20 or so comics make up pretty much the heart of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles canon. I mean, you've got all the major components there. You've got Shredder, you've got the Foot Clan, you've got Baxter Stockman, you've got Mousers, April O'Neil, Splinter, the 4 Turtles, you've got Casey Jones, you've got eventually the Utrom, who are responsible for the Turtles, TCRI, you've got the war between the Triceraton military and the what was the name of the... There's a human military that they're fighting against, but I can never remember the name of it. And I mean, most of the classic stories are here, facing Shredder for the first time, Shredder, destroying their home, Shredder destroying April's antique shop the second time around, Turtles having to flee to hide out in their in the old farmhouse in New Hampshire. I think it's New Hampshire. Stuff like that, and then the Turtles' eventual return, Turtles disappearing into the Triceraton homeworld and finding the Fugitoid, and this is the stuff that most of the stories that you find are kind of based on the original movie is based on a lot of that story. The 2003 series is mostly based on those, and they eventually got to the City at War storyline in the 2003 series, which was absolutely cool. And I'm so happy to have this collection, the Ultimate Collection, because it allows me to read those stories and in full, beautiful scans with all kinds of gorgeous insight into the series. And it's a great collection for someone who's not actually been able to collect the originals. I really wish I could go out and find the originals, but they're really hard to find, they're really hard to come by, and this is a great substitute. I mean, I'd love to have the originals in lieu of this, but it's probably not going to happen. So if you're a Turtles fan, I really recommend going out and buying these. I'm sure there's copies still out there. You can find them on like indigo.ca if you're Canadian, or if you're American, you can probably find them on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or any of those, usual book locations. And they're actually cheaper online too. You can usually save, $10-15 off the cover price if you buy them online. Although you might lose some of that in shipping. So yeah, I'm just kind of rambling on now, and I'm gonna wrap this up. But yeah, absolutely fantastic series. Not just because it's Turtles, but because it's a fantastic collection of Turtles. Tomorrow I'm going to continue talking about more Turtles. I'm going to talk about Turtles all week long. So if you're not a Turtles fan, you probably want to duck out for this. But I'm going to try and give you guys as much history and insight into a couple different series. Tomorrow I think I'm going to talk about Tales of the TMNT, which was a series of one-shots done. You know what? I'm going to tell you what that is tomorrow. So check that out. Check out VEDA number 8. Which will go up tonight too. And you guys have a good night. Bye.